just about ready as Kane winds and throws, and that's a strike. 6:34 first pitch. Soft line drive over Renteria for a base hit.
Looks to me like he may have gone up there in that bat looking for a breaking ball. It's not normal that a guy who doesn't have any history against the pitcher is going to go up there and hit the first breaking balls that he sees. So I think Kinsler just told us a little bit about his approach.
There isn't anybody in this lineup that has ever faced Kane before, including David Murphy, a left-handed hitter. Kinsler with his lead and a high pop-up, and they are hacking. It'll be Renteria. 1 out.
You know, that's what the Texas Rangers have always been about. It's an organization that when you think Texas Rangers, you think offense. This year, however, a little bit different. They're mixing in really good defense, good base running, and some pitching. That has them on top of the National or the American League West. But the hitting is still there, and they're still winning games without their biggest bat. Josh Hamilton's still on the disabled list.
It hasn't slowed him down much. Here's Michael Young. Young takes a strike. There is a possible hitting background problem for the hitters with the sun-splashed green hitting area. That's what you see when you have the 6:30 starts. And it can be a little bit of a problem as the runner goes and it's in the dirt, and the only thing Benji Molina could do is knock it down. It'll be a stolen base for Kinsler.
Now, stealing bases often has a lot to do with the pitch you get to steal off of. A change up down the dirt. Not a lot that Benji Molina could do a whole with that pitch in the dirt. And Kinsler.
Did Downs pull the hidden ball trick on Kinsler?
He did.
And the umpires are saying there was time. This is what we have. I don't know if it was a hidden. He still got it. Now Kinsler steps off. Well, I see what it was. It wasn't a hidden ball trick. Kinsler thought that there was a
foul ball.
But the umpires had already called time. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hit into center field. Rowan on the move. Rowan tracks it down. Tagging is Kinsler. He will go to third.
It is not an easy field to play right now in center, right center, and right field. That part of the field looking right into the sun, and it's going to be that way for another couple of innings.
Field, Rowan.
So anything you see a guy having to go back and look up and seeing a bright sky, I think that little shade of the light tower may have helped Aaron Rowan in making that play. But that was not easy.
Here's Nelson Cruz hitting cleanup. And there's a breaking ball for a strike. Hitting cleanup because of these numbers. 18 home runs, 45 runs batted in. At third is Kinsler. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
See, that's what you expect from a guy who's never seen a breaking ball from a pitcher. Basically, he's going to lose a strike because he's not familiar with the break, and that's your education. But you only need to see 1 or 2 of those before you're dialed in, and that breaking ball goes into the database.
And so far, he's seen curveball, took one, another maybe a slider, swing and a miss, and now the 0-2 pitch, and it's a fastball up high, 1-2.
Benji Molina wanted that fastball inside corner, went completely away from the target. That happens early in the game when you're trying to add, and an 0-2 count is a great time to try and add fastball. Kane's always been able to do that.
high into center field. It starts to carry, but Rowan has a beat on it, and that ends the inning. Not in this yard. Kinsler left at third. Giants are coming up. Nothing here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Giants lineup. It'll be Rowan, Renteria, and then Sandoval hitting third tonight. And against left-handers this season, fourth in the National League. Not bad. Molina, the cleanup hitter. Wynn now batting fifth. Aurelia, Torres, Downs, and Kane. Derek Holland, a hard-throwing left-hander for the Texas Rangers. Inside, by the way, Darryl Cousins is calling balls and strikes.
Cousins can be a little erratic with what he calls with breaking balls, but he's pretty consistent with the fastball calling.
Rowan skies this one into deep right center field. It'll be Cruz. And Cruz kind of cruised over there to make the catch.
He was cruising on that one. Now let's take a look at the Texas Rangers defense. The outfield will feature Murphy, Bird, and Cruz. Vizquel, that's right, Omar Vizquel back in San Francisco. He's at shortstop, joined by Young, and on the left side of the infield, Kinsler and Davis on the right side, and Jared Saltalamacchia will be doing the catching. And this is the gentleman that Type was talking about, Derek Holland, 22-year-old lefty, 6'2", 185-pounder out of Newark, Ohio. And he does throw hard. He'll go 92, 96 with a fastball. It's got lots of running. And he's got a curveball and a slider. More of a slurvy type breaking ball. The best specialty pitch he has is his changeup that offsets that good fastball. But he can be erratic with command.
Renteria fouls it back. It's 0-2.
And the book on Holland is that the longer the at-bat goes, the more pitches you're going to see, the better pitches you're going to get to hit. He's a rookie. And he's kind of raw, but he's got good stuff.
Outside corner, and Renteria out looking. It's tough to learn the strike zone the hard way in your first at bat.
Well, especially a two-strike count. And that basically is what Darryl Cousins will do. He'll give you some width on both sides of the plate with the fastball. You won't get the same width with the breaking ball.
Here's Sandoval. Bruce Bochy said he moved Sandoval and Wynn just because he wanted to give Randy Wynn a different look in a different spot in the order because of his struggles hitting right-handed. Sandoval always seems to be the moving guy. First, third, behind the plate, third, hitting fifth.
Do you know why that is?
It's because he's really good.
And he just doesn't care.
just wants to play.
If he gets the ballpark every day, he looks in his locker and there's a uni hanging there. He's a happy camper.
It's one of the reasons why when he was a kid he decided he didn't want to throw left-handed anymore.
I mean, he used to throw left-handed. That's his natural arm, left-handed.
Swinging a foul. That's a pretty good swing right there. He swung so hard he knocked himself down.
It looks like his big brother pushed him from behind. All right, let's take a look at this hack right here. It used to be a time of baseball. You did this, you were going to get dusted on your next swing. Yep, he got pushed from behind. Yep. Don't leave your feet, kids.
Line drive, base hit, right field.
And that's the beauty of Pablo Sandoval. I think you could say this guy trusts his hands and he trusts his swing as good as anybody on the Giants team. And just a ball that's up above the strike zone and not easy to keep the top hand above. And just serves it right out to right field, squares it right up. And that's the other thing that amazes you about the guy is how many balls he squares up on the barrel.
Here's Benji Molina. Molina flips one down the right field line. A long run for Cruz.
Oh!
This will be a foul ball. Our ball dude down the right field line is Paul Robinson. And I'd say Paul had a much better shot at it if he'd had the right shoes on.
Well, I agree. But this, if he makes this play, it's the greatest ball dude play in the history of ball dudes. But I don't know. I agree with you on the shoes. But this is the first male nurse we've had be a ball dude, and I think that's significant.
Wow. He's doing a lot of things right except for the shoes. Molina thrown out to end the inning. It's all about, it always has been, the shoes. Woo-hoo!
Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Raj Mathai here in the Giants dugout. A familiar face for Bay Area baseball fans in the Rangers dugout. Rangers manager Ron Washington, 10 seasons as the A's third base coach, but now in his third season in Texas. And Wash has a really good relationship with so many of his players. In fact, in his days in Oakland, very tight with the development of Eric Chavez, the multiple Gold Glove winner. So tight that Xavi gave Washington one of his Gold Gloves a few years ago when he won it in Oakland. Kruk and Kite, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Raj. Here's Marlon Byrd, Ron Washington. Rangers are very pleased that he is at the helm in that dugout. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1 to Byrd. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
I always talk about Kane's ability to pitch up above the letters. The high 3/4 short arm release is a sneaky delivery. It's not one you see early, and it's one that can basically set up a high fastball, and it's always been a good pitch for him.
In the dirt now, it's 1-2. No score here in the second inning. Good crowd here at the ballpark. And the 1-2 pitch to Bird, and that'll do it. 1 out.
Good changeup for the payoff pitch. What do you say we take a look at our Fry's scenic shot of the game? And what better scene to take a look at than the Golden Gate Bridge?
I want to live there. I want to live there.
We do. That is drop dead gorgeous. And it's ours. That's our Fry's scenic shot of the game.
Nice. Here's Saltalamacchia. McCain, a lot of first pitch strikes.
Just a lot of confidence out there on the mound right now, and a record of 9-1 will do that to you. Good changeup fastball combination. When you start off 94, you put it in the guy's mind, you come back same arm action, and you drop a changeup. That's a mismatch. In 2 pitches, Saltalamacchia has definitely been impressed by Matt Cain.
Oh, 0-2. On the ground towards the hole and into the hole, under the glove of Pablo Sandoval. That's an 0-2 base hit for Saltalamacchia.
Well, Cain's not going to like that pitch because it caught a little bit too much strike zone. He wanted to try and go inside above the hands, and the movement brings it right out across the plate. We're talking T-ball location, and to Saltalamacchia's credit, he fights it off and finds a hole. They had played him off the line, and Sandoval just a bit short.
Here's Chris Davis. Davis, lots of power, lots of strikeouts. And he takes a strike.
Well, guys like this scare you because they're dangerous. They don't have to hit the ball right on the screws to hit it out of the ballpark. They've got lots of power. It's just a matter of trying to stay out of their wheelhouse.
And that fastball is high. Two hits for the Rangers, a pair of singles. Kinsler single to open up the game. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
You see that ball by him. You talked about the background of the hitter's eye out center field, which makes it tough for a hitter. How does it affect the hitter?
Well, you really have to almost like squint. Like you're trying to get everything in focus. And you do that and you've already lost half the battle. 2-2. And I guess you almost have to try to eliminate pitches. Plus, you start thinking about it at 10 o'clock in the morning. Got him.
Good changeup again. The payoff pitch of the strikeout, the changeup.
Shortstop, number 13, Omar Vizquel.
Omar Vizquel introduced here at the ballpark. And Cain throws a fastball high, 1-0. Vizquel at 323. And 2 gold gloves with the Giants. You see he won them in 05 and 06. He's 20 for 62. to left field. A long run for Torres. Torres is going to make the running catch to end the inning. No runs, a hit, one left. It'll be Randy Wynn to lead things off. Inning. Joining us is Hall of Famer Tom Seaver. Tom, welcome.
Thank you, man.
You having fun?
Nice to be. I know you get to the ballpark, you're supposed to have fun, and it's easy to do.
Yeah. Especially
when you surround yourself with Nolan Ryan and a couple of those boys down there that are pretty good chuckers, right? Kind of fun to be in that group. Kind of pinch yourself every once in a while.
Here's Randy Wynn to lead things off for the Giants here in the bottom of the second. Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit. You're spending all of your time here now in Northern California?
Yes. I live in Calistoga, my wife and I, and 2 Labrador retrievers, 2 birds, 2 cats. We have a house full, and yeah, definitely we're in Calistoga, just south of town, and
50 acres of grapes.
I have a little bit over 3 acres of grapes with new Cabernet grapes coming in, and another 3/4, and we end up with about 4 acres of grapes on hillside Cabernet.
Win out 6-3.
So you're having fun being a winemaker.
It is really. I'm not a winemaker. Semantics now, Croup. Come on. I'm not making wine. I'm growing grapes.
So you're having
and
fun.
I give my grapes to Thomas Brown, and he makes the wine.
All right, well,
Thomas Brown is the winemaker.
Well, let me clear. You're having fun being a wine drinker.
I'm having more fun being a farmer. You want to see my fingernails? Look at those. It's like, red badge of courage.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you're from Fresno. You should have fingernails like that.
I know, I should.
And you're sitting next to a farmer, and he's got fingernails like that.
And proud of it. Let me see.
Right.
Are these your...
No, my dad would be upset if he saw my fingers. There's a pitch high to a 1 ball and no strikes. All right, so let's talk about, over the years, you watch Randy Johnson. What can you say? He's unbelievable. Did you enjoy watching him pitch?
No, it's like everybody that was out there. One thing about Randy, granted he's a Trojan and all that. We have that in common and stuff. But as I got booed off the field by the fans here when I mentioned USC and stuff. But one of the things that I think he is very similar to was the zone that he gets into when he's pitching. It is his world is just that big. Just about the size around of that baseball. And it was the same way lefty was. Remember how lefty got into a zone and there was just no entry. There was no way you were going to get in there. And it's really a discipline of focus. And Randy Johnson had it as much as I think probably anybody I've ever seen one with lefty.
We've made the same comparison to Steve Carlton, and I think the comparisons are uncanny. He puts the game face on 2 days prior to the start. You can see him build that focus you're talking about. And by the time he goes out there, his focus is pinhole. He's on it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I like what he said in Washington when he won his 300th game. He says, I feel a kinship with the men who have won 300 before me, because now I can truly appreciate how hard it was for them to win that game. And I feel like I've accomplished something. And it was beautifully said, and it was meant from every ounce of his being. He really understands his place in history and has nothing but respect for those who've come before him.
I think you're exactly right.
Really,
one of the things about if I interrupt you on the strikeout there.
No.
What he does, and did he win his 301st game right after 300, or was there a start in between?
He lost his next start, and then he won his last start.
Yeah, so yeah. And people ask me about that, and I'm just going to interject this because all those players that are out there, those pitchers that are out there, are really of the same kind of ilk. Excuse me. And when I won 300 in Yankee Stadium, and then I won my next start, someplace wherever it was my 301st win, the very next. And people asked me about it, and I said this in the press conference downstairs. I said that 301 was as important as 300. You know, it's like on the back of my wine bottle. The joy and the love is really in the journey, not just the individual game, but the respect that you have for the game. That 301st was as important. Maybe in the historical sense is not as meaningful as 300. I mean, it's 300, but 301 in the journey, it is exactly as important. And I thought he had done it too. I mentioned that to my wife the other day.
Or it's how to play. It's 1 and 2.
Well said, my friend. You ever think about going in the broadcast business?
No, a couple of people have asked me about that, but I said,
do you miss that at all?
Not really. No. I'm having so much fun being a farmer, Cook. I mean, you and I have talked about wine and grapes and all that stuff, but I'm really having just a ball. I mean, it's very challenging, but I've got good people. I mean, Thomas Brown's a great winemaker, and Jim Barber does my vineyard. And all I do is ask questions, and I don't touch anything until they tell me what to do. But the learning curve is fabulous. And my commute to work is 90 seconds on foot with my 2 Labrador retrievers. So it just doesn't get any better than that.
So life is good.
Life is good. Life is good.
Will you at least lie and say you've watched this on an occasion?
I've watched you on occasion.
Okay, good. Boy, we had to drag that one out of him.
That's like pulling a cork.
Here's the payoff pitch to Torres, and he drives it into right center field. On the move is Bird. He's not going to get it. And this, folks, is truly Triples Alley with Andres Torres. Tom Seaver talked about his 300th win. This is what it looked like at Yankee Stadium. That looks like Don Baylor.
Reed Nichols in left field, and where's Pudge? Oh, that's the family there.
And you win the distance.
Pudge right there. Yeah. 9 innings. Yeah.
What do you remember about that day?
Coming to work over one of the bridges going down there. I was driving my little Ford truck, and cops pulled up next to me, and I said, "Hey, my boys, my name's Tom Seaver, and I got to get to work at that ballpark down there." And their eyes jumped out, and they go, "Woo, woo, 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 woo."
Well, that was the beginning of a good day then.
Yes.
Here's Matt Downs. Downs looking for his first Major League RBI, and he takes a pitch outside, 1-0.
Well, there was irony that day. I mean, you started out your career with the Mets on the other side of New York, and here it was in Yankee Stadium, back to New York for your milestone 300th win. That had to be nice.
Oh, yeah. Doing it at home, in the sense of the New York metropolitan area, no question about it, too. And I enjoyed it. I got to the American League, Crook, too. You're National Leaguers, and you think National League and stuff. But I really enjoyed it in Chicago, playing for the White Sox. I really enjoyed it. Got to see the American League, got to see the American League parks. I'd never been in the old Comiskey Park or whatever it was when I got there, and never really been in Fenway Park. And I went in the scoreboard and put my name on that wall.
Did you?
In that room, or whatever the locker is called in left field. Went right there. And it was, I enjoyed seeing what the American League was all about.
This is a young Tom Seaver. Yeah, it looks like he...
Whoops. Oh, I could feel that position.
What?
Like a cat. Did you see that? Like a cat.
Big
cat and with using 2 hands, too. Do you notice that?
Don strikes out singing. We're going to send Tom over to the radio side. Tom, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, man. Good to see you.
All righty.
Take care, man.
Nothing. Great deal. By the way, it's also Father's Day. If you're looking for 4 tickets, buy 3 and Dad gets to go free. 3 free. And if you're looking for that special gift for Dad, the first 15,000 fans will receive a tie that Mike's going to wear for the rest of the year, a Giants necktie courtesy of Jen & Tech. Go online to sfgiants.com. Enter DAD is your coupon code. Here's Derek Holland. And a strike.
Great to see Tom Seaver, who, by the way, was an outstanding broadcaster with the Mets when he retired as a player. But once he got over there to where he was growing grapes and he was farming, and
forget it.
He was done. He didn't realize he had that much of the farm in him. And you can relate to that.
Strikeout to Holland, 1 out.
Well, Comcast Sportsnet has complete Giants coverage on Sportsnet Central. You'll see it every night at 10:30 p.m. Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports. Check it out. You will love it. They do a great job.
Kinsler has one of the 2 hits for the Rangers. He singled in the first.
This guy could grow on you. We've seen him for what, 11 innings? I like this guy.
Had a very quiet demeanor at the plate, but boy, he's got pop. He can hit the ball out of the park, hit the ball in the alleys. Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Every 3 years they come up with somebody that just rakes. And this is one of the guys they came up with. Hammered down the left field line. Foul. Like that.
He's got a quick bat. Well, right now we want to say hello to Dave McAdam, who's had a major surgery and he's recovering, and we just want to tell him that we miss him here at the ballpark. And Dave, hurry back soon. Dave, a season ticket holder for a long time and a fixture around here.
All right, Dave. We need to see you back out here. 1-2 to Kinsler. Got him.
Backdoor sinker. We talk about the whip that you will get with the fastball with Darryl Cousins. An example of a backdoor sinker coming right around. And the reaction? Disbelief. Grab some pie.
David Murphy popped out to Renteria in the first. And a strike. I think I'm shocked now if Kane goes 1-0.
He is just in your grill.
Out of play.
You know, and that's what a changeup could do for you. I mean, when you're out there with a fastball and a couple of breaking balls, you know, a lot of times those breaking balls aren't going to work, and you start to shave the strike zone, because I don't care how good your fastball is, you keep running up there to a big league hitter, they're gonna wear you out. Good pitch. But a changeup changes all of that. You don't have to be so fine to a corner with a changeup. And once you establish you have that in the mind of a hitter, it makes that fastball look that much better. That's strike 3. If Kinsler's out,
didn't matter. Kane strikes out the side. He's got 5. Kane will lead things off.
Really?
By the way, things off, facing Derek Holland, and Kane fouls it off the backstop. Of all the guys we watched in batting practice today, Kane had the best batting practice.
He was raking. Good athlete. Swinging the bat well this year, hitting 240.
Kinsler got him. Nice play. Raj Mathai is here. Raj.
Hey guys, a lot of hype and a lot of talk and a warm welcome from Omar Vizquel back to San Francisco. It brings us to our Honda insights of the game. Vizquel with the rear start at shortstop tonight. If he gets one more hit, he will become the all-time hits leader for a Venezuelan-born player. He's right now tied with Luis Aparicio with 2,677. And nice to see Vizquel back in San Francisco and his colorful wardrobe that we saw before the game. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Raj, indeed. He travels very colorfully. Rowan hit a fly ball to deep right center field. He's 0 for 1. Bat goes flying, heads up, almost hit Jeff Idelson. There's Pam Bear. There's Jeff in the blue blazer, the Hall of Fame director. Pam sitting right behind him with a couple of the Bear lads.
He was going to make the exchange, and he said, you know what, wait a second, let me check and see if this one's still alive.
Yeah, he just gave him Matt Cain's bat.
You know, I believe that. That's exactly why that's funny.
Well, maybe not Matt Cain's, but see, who doesn't have a... Oh, Jonathan Sanchez. He doesn't have a hit. Rowan hits one high and deep to left. This baby is out of here. Rowan has done it again. I'm sure he's pleased he got that bat back.
Yeah, you don't want to lose this bat. It had 3 hits in it last night. Here, he gets a fastball and he fights it off. I mean, that's not completely on the sweet spot. That's up the bat a bit. And only the strong guys can do that.
I think this ballpark has changed.
It's got some carry tonight.
Here's Renteria, who takes a breaking ball for a strike. Well, there's one of your first. You said first to score.
There's one of your first. Amen. First strike. He's been doing that all night long. First out of the inning, he's been pretty consistent, and the Giants have scored first, and that has usually been a good thing for him. That's a good thing for anybody, though.
1-1 to Renteria. I'm going to say this. Does Bill Newcomb have some timing or what?
He does.
He is now sitting in the seat that the bat just hit. One and 2 to Renteria. Outside, 2-2.
I think everybody's telling him, too, hey, Power, you almost died. You didn't even know it.
Timing is everything. Renteria, a little flare to right. Out is Kinsler. Cruz got a late jump, but in plenty of time. This is when Omar arrived at the ballpark today in this shirt. And that's mild.
Oh, yeah.
But what you don't know is the shoes to match that shirt.
He never let us down with his wardrobe, ever. And the thing about it is he could pull it off.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you hang those threads on me, it would not work.
Hang them on anybody in this park. There's a certain attitude that has to go along with that.
Yeah. It's called flair, and he's got it.
The 1-0 to Sandoval on the outside corner to even the count. Dave Fleming will be in innings 4, 5, and 6. Dave will be waxing poetry with my partner.
Yeah, we can wax some poems, I'm telling you. 1-0 thanks to that man right there.
One and 2 to Sandoval. Popped him up. Kinsler behind second base. That will end the inning. Aaron Rowan unloads with his 8th home run of the year. It's a solo shot, and it's 1-0 Giants. Dave Fleming will be in.
Nothing is now top of the fourth, and joining us, Dave Fleming. Welcome.
Thank you, Mike. By the way, nice job on field before the game with those ceremonies. What a great time that was.
It really was. A lot of history we were surrounded by. Nolan Ryan and Gaylord Perry, Tom Seaver, and now the newest member of the 300 Club, Randy Johnson. And Randy was feeling the love from the Giants fans. It was pretty special to be out there and feel that warmth come across the infield. It really is a remarkable thing. But he appreciated it, and I know his family did.
Tell you what, the Giants have a guy, Matt Cain, who's pitching at that kind of level again here tonight. He is throwing the ball beautifully, and he starts off against Michael Young with a fastball that misses low for ball one. Aaron Rowan's home run has the Giants ahead 1-0. Cain pulls that one wide. It's 2-0. But you mentioned the vibe down there on the field and the celebration of Randy. You guys had Tom Seaver on, as we did over on the radio side, and Tom said that himself. He probably told you all the same thing. What a treat it was for him to be down there and see Randy and his reaction to everything.
You're talking about 4 Giants in the history of baseball down there, with Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver and Gaylord Perry and Randy Johnson.
Here's ball 4.
All the guys were very impressed with Randy Johnson, and certainly they all said he's very deserving of the 300 Club. There's Gaylord Perry. Now Tom Seaver coming in. And the strikeout king, Nolan Ryan.
Well, truly, I mean, anybody who's won 300 games is one of the all-time greats, but you're looking at 4 of the great of the greats. Those guys stand very tall in the history of baseball. Cain with a leadoff walk to Young. Now he faces the cleanup hitter Cruz, who fouls the first pitch back.
Wow, he was on that one.
Cain had just a dominant third inning, struck out the side.
This guy's got some thump in his bat, I'll tell you. You watch him in batting practice, and he hits it out everywhere.
He's taken that power into the games in the last year and a half for the first time really ever. He's got 18 home runs. He pops that one up, though. Aurelia looks like he has a play, and he'll catch right near the coach's box.
Well, catch a Giants game and then spend the night on the field under the stars. Join us for the 7th annual AT&T Giants Slumber Party. It's a great family outing. Participants receive a game ticket That's right. The Giants are taking on the Dodgers at 12:45. Then they camp out on the field. You get games, activities, contests, movies, snacks. It is a great time. Plus, you get special visit from Will Clark and JT Snow as they will be signing autographs for those spending the night on the field. If you're interested, go to sfgiants.com/slumber party. Check it out.
Okay. I think my girls are still a little young. Next year. Move to first. Michael Young is back standing. The batter now is Marlon Byrd.
Yeah, they'll be about, 4.5 next year?
They will be 4.5 next year.
That's perfect timing.
This year, I don't know if they could sleep in a tent. Fastball is popped up foul.
Oh, they would definitely fall asleep, but it'd be like about 4 in the morning before they finally go down. 12 for 14 in first pitch strikes. That's a pretty good statistic right there for any pitcher. Matt Cain has been doing that consistently since the start of the year. And we always talk about the importance of the first strikes, the first out of the inning, and of course the first run on the board for your team. But the first strikes seem to set up just about everything good for a team.
Strike one pitch, and he gets strike two right on the inside. It's 0-2. Mike, I think there are lots of reasons why Cain is 9-1, is having his best year, but that may be number one. I mean, he really has improved so much in that regard, getting ahead of hitters, throwing strike one.
Well, and corner command with the fastball. I mean, a lot of times pitchers are so conditioned to try and hit the outside location at the knees with the fastball, they forget about the inside corner. And here he just elevates to a free swinger, and Byrd goes down chasing a fastball that's right up around shoulder height above his hands. No chance to hit this thing. Grab some pine. Strikeout number 6.
And such an effective pitch against a hitter like that when you are ahead in the count. When you can get ahead, then Byrd is a free swinger. He's going to go after that one.
That swing did not feel good.
Byrd is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Now Saltalamacchia with a runner at first. Saltalamacchia has one of the 2 Rangers hits. And he takes strike one.
You'll get more high strikes with a breaking ball with Darryl Cousins than you will low strikes. Talked about Cousins who give you some width on both sides of the plate with the fastball, but you don't normally get that same width with breaking balls.
The 1-strike pitch, and Saltalamacchia pops this one up. Who's going to take it? Torres calls everyone off. Andres has it for the out. Cain works nicely around the leadoff walk and retires the Rangers. Giants lead 1-0.
The Rangers had a special pregame ceremony themselves a few nights ago honoring their former owner. Hello to the former president, George W. Bush. Owned the Rangers for quite many years, sold the team to Tom Hicks, their current owner, back in 1998. This was Thursday night. They honored him by naming the owner's box after him, the George W. Bush Owner's Suite. Guys, back up to you.
Okay, Raj, they gave him a jersey with the number 43 on it. Very appropriate. He is a big, big baseball fan. Benji Molina swings at the 1-0 pitch and pops it up. Cruz over to make the catch.
You know, it was great when we were in Washington. We had a chance to talk with Tim Kurjan. And Kurjan, who is a writer, really a good writer, and does a lot of commentary on the late night sports shows. And one of the good people in baseball, and he was talking about being invited to the White House when George Bush was the president, and just going there for an evening to talk baseball. And he was there with our partner, John Miller, who told us basically the same story.
Randy Wynn taps one back to the pitcher. His struggles against lefties continuing tonight. He's 0 for 2, 2 down.
But the story that Kurjan said was about how there was a time in the career as a president of George Bush where he wasn't getting a lot of love from the papers, and you know, he needed a night off. And when he wanted that type of night, he called in the people he knew from the baseball world, and they would come in and they would talk ball for 3 hours. And Kurjan was saying that it really meant a lot to the president to be able to have that type of release, to be able to talk about something he truly loved, and he is a fan of the game. It was very nice of the Texas Rangers to honor him in that regard.
2 down for Rich Aurelia, who hits a hard ground ball to short. Omar again stylishly picks it up and throws out Richie. Giants go down in order. On to the 5th. 1-0. Giants lead. When the Giants come back home for their next home stand, it will be the 4th of July weekend, and the Giants are going to really celebrate Independence Day on the 3rd of July. That Friday night game with the Houston Astros. You can stick around for the annual Independence Day fireworks show. Going to be a great performance. Tickets are still available for that game. sfgiants.com, the place to go for fireworks on the 3rd of July. The Giants and the Astros when we're back home. First pitch swinging. Chris Davis goes after a breaking ball from Kane. Grounds out to second. One away.
One pitch out. Nothing quite like it. Hey, for comprehensive coverage of everything orange and black, check out pregame live and postgame live before and after every Giants telecast on Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports.
Matt Cain now against Omar Vizquel, who got a great ovation his first time up. Spent 4 years here in San Francisco with the Giants. Won 2 Gold Gloves. A favorite for sure. Fastball in there for a called strike. And nearly had what will be a milestone hit for him his first time up. The next one you see, he'll become the all-time hit leader of players from Venezuela. He goes after a curveball and misses. And that's an unbelievable list of great hitters who've come from that great baseball country. Perhaps no better than Omar Vizquel. 0-2. And he hits one foul.
Now on the club level here at the ballpark, they have a painting that Omar Vizquel did, and they honor Vizquel with a picture of him painting that painting, along with a couple of other pictures of Omar. It was our pleasure to be associated with this gentleman, and someday he will be a Hall of Famer, and he will join Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, and Tom Seaver, and Gaylord Perry in Cooperstown.
There's hardly a day when I don't think about Omar Vizquel and the moments he had here. Stuff all around the ballpark that reminds you of his days here. And it's been fun to watch these last couple days because it's not just his former teammates, but so many people from the front office, Giants staff members who've wanted to come down and just say hi because Omar treated everybody so well while he was here. A gentleman of the game. He took that pitch down and in, so he's got the count to 1-2. He hit a ball down the left field line in the second. Took a nice play by Andres Torres to track it down. That fastball too high.
Well, he's definitely seen the ball well. For a guy who's not playing every day, he's had a pretty good idea of the strike zone. He's laid out some pretty good pitches. And he's making Kane work.
2-2, and he takes one into left center. Rowan circling in, and he makes a catch and just avoids what could have been a nasty collision. He got a piece of Torres, but I think everybody's all right.
Well, here's the problem. You've got two center fielders out there, really three if you count Randy Wynn. And center fielders are always the guys that have final say-so on a fly. And Matt Cain's reaction to a near collision, that would have been bad. Andres Torres would have broken two.
Two guys running real hard, and one who's a lot bigger than the other.
One's a outside linebacker. Aaron Rowan is built solid, and I don't want to think about that. That would have been bad.
But thankfully, Rowan makes a catch. Everybody's okay. Now quickly 2 strikes to the pitcher, Derek Holland.
That's the problem. You have center fielders out there, and they're used to calling it off and having the other guy, give up to their voice. And you can see some collisions like that.
Yeah, you get the benefit of having 2 guys who cover so much ground out there. 0-2 pitch, and Holland jammed, soft liner to Downs for the out. Andres Torres himself is going to lead off for the Giants in the last of the 5th.
sharp eye of the game. And when you think about Omar Vizquel, you think about the bare hand. And how many times did he thrill us with just the bare hand? And think back about probably his most famous bare hand was the no-hitter. Who was throwing it?
Back in Seattle.
That's right. To sharpen your vision, check out Dr. Beers at LASIK2020.com.
Well, Omar, nobody's ever better at that play, right? The bare hand in the history of the game?
I don't think so.
No. Is that a Chris Bosio no-hitter?
I'm trying to think of who it was. I think you're right. I'm going to say you are. It was Chris Bosio, but it was the last out of the game. He makes a bare hand play.
Not a problem. Torres takes this one to right field. Slices foul. Not by much, right near that McCovey loft area, the party area. They are having a good time.
Well, that's a fun place to watch a game.
I want to do a game down there.
Everybody wants to do a game down there.
I've brought that up a couple times. But I don't want to just do the game. I want to experience the party while we're doing the game.
Well, that'd be good about the first 3 innings. But as soon as the beers start to take effect,
the broadcast might suffer. Bounces this one foul. It's 0-2. Andres Torres had a real impressive at bat his first time up. Got the count full and just blasted one to deep right center field for a 2-out triple. Off the bat, did you think he had at least a chance if it took a funny bounce?
For a home run inside the Parker? Well, yeah, with his speed, I always think that.
That's what I think. Whenever he hits one out in that direction. But it just took a perfect carom right back to Marlon Byrd. Had to settle for the triple. 1-2. Just low.
Andres Torres came from out of nowhere in spring training and just absolutely opened everybody's eyes up.
Hard bouncer, and it goes right off of Michael Young. And now we get to watch Torres speed into second, and he'll take an aggressive turn there. Murphy comes down the line to pick it up in foul ground. Andres Torres using that speed again. He's into scoring position, this time with nobody out.
Well, I mean, down the count with a sitting on a 2-strike count, a hard breaking ball from Holland, and just puts a pretty good swing on it. But watch the second spin. A top spinner just eat Michael Young up, hit him right on the thumb of the glove. We haven't seen how this play's been ruled yet. But look at him come out of the box, and that's the one thing about Andres Torres. He always thinks lead back. He's always thinking that maybe I can get him more, and that's the turn that Dave's talking about. Good aggressive turn, and that puts pressure on a defense.
Well, apparently they have scored it as an error. It was not an easy play. That was a tough bounce. Torres hit it hard. He's at second, nobody out. Matt Downs at the plate. Downs takes one down the right field line, but it's slicing foul.
You saw that breaking ball early. Had good balance on that back leg. Stayed inside that pitch. That's what you want to see with young hitters. You want to see how they adjust the second time through in a ball game. I mean, they get one at bat where they get a free look and get educated. A lot of times they're overmatched, but that second time through, the adjustments they make, that tells you a lot about the hitter. And usually they'll tell you in a lot of number of ways, obviously with loud contact, but they'll tell you too with the number of pitches they take, the number of pitches that are near strikes that they spit on and they don't take, and it becomes a ball and a count in their favor. And then you look at how they receive a ball on that back leg as to what type of balance they have. And they see a mixture of speeds.
I mean, Matt Downs so far has passed all those tests. He's really looked impressive. Takes one outside there. It's 2-1.
He has looked impressive. He looks like he belongs.
Having good at bats just about every time up there. This is a good chance for the Giants. They lead 1-0. Aaron Rowan's home run is the only run of the game. Giants have a chance to expand that lead. And that's ball 3. I think you bring up a good point too. This is a guy, Derek Holland, they're seeing for the first time. A young guy, just 22 years old. Second time through. Giants have a better idea of what to look for.
Well, Holland has great stuff, no question about that, but he doesn't have great command of that great stuff.
It's 3-1. Downs hits a hard grounder to short. Vizquel will make sure Torres isn't going anywhere and throw out Downs.
Time now for our Comcast Major League Baseball news and notes. We're going to take a look around the league. Cubs won in 13th. Again, it was Kerry Wood who gave it up. That's 2 days in a row for the former Cub. Weaver versus Weaver tonight as the Angels take on the Dodgers. And then Beckett, Boston, shutout. 5 hitters, 7 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. And he had a great day for the Red Sox. Go deep in Bay Area sports news every night on Sportsnet Central, only on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area.
Kane will take a breaking ball for a called strike. It's 0-1. In case you were wondering about the battle of Weavers down in Anaheim, older brother Jeff and the Dodgers have a 5-2 lead. That game is in the 5th. Here the Giants lead 1-0. Torres, the runner at second. Fastball right there. Good pitch from Holland. They believe that Derek Holland's going to be one of their stars of the future. They really think that he's an anchor for their rotation for years to come.
Oh, I liked him. I like him, and I liked the kid last night, Scott Feldman. They've got really, really good young arms. Feldman has one thing you really can't teach, and that's big movement with 2 types of fastball. A cut on a 93 or an above fastball, and the same type of velocity on a sinker. That's pretty rare stuff right there. It's not even talking about his other pitches.
Scott Feldman, Burlingame High kid, back here in the Bay Area last night, and he was impressive even though he took the loss.
We've seen some really good young pitching come into the major leagues this year.
Kane hits one foul, stays alive. Saltalamacchia wants to come out and talk about this sequence with his pitcher Derek Holland.
And the talk is very simple. He's going to come out there and say, "You're way ahead, be smart." And that simply means do not throw anything in the strike zone. And you really don't have to do it. And the disadvantage for a pitcher like Matt Cain is that he doesn't get a lot of at-bats. So you don't have a clear-cut definition of the strike zone. So curveballs in the dirt, fastballs above the letters, those are tough to lay off of.
He has become the best Giants hitting pitcher. He can't lay off that one, strike 3.
And that's exactly where you should throw that breaking ball with 2 strikes to a pitcher. Remember when Aaron Rowand had his last at bat, he had a foul ball. He went up in the stands with his bat, got it back, and in the same AB, he does this. He hits his 8th home run of the year, and that really has been the offense tonight.
Well, he took a long time to decide. Do I use the old one that went into the seats? Do I use the new one? Good choice. Hit the home run. Curveball in for a strike to Rowand, 0-1.
Seeing more and more of that first pitch curveball for a strike from Holland. Saltalamacchia starting to mix him up a little bit more with that first pitch.
Chance to bring home Torres, who was at second with nobody out. He's there still with 2 down. Tried that breaking ball again. This time Rowand took it, and it was out of the zone, 1-1. Torres has got great speed, so any kind of base hit, and the Giants are going to get themselves a run as long as it gets through the infield. Rowand's been an RBI man as he's moved to the leadoff spot, which is in some ways counterintuitive, but he's been a great run producer in this spot in the lineup. And that move from Bruce Bochy has paid off big time. Rowand has been a different hitter, hitting at the top of the lineup.
It's hard to explain as to why he's been getting hits up there. I mean, he says, "I don't really feel any different." Doesn't mean to me as I lead off the game. But after that, I kind of feel like it's any other game.
And it may be coincidental. He might have gotten hot anyway if he hadn't made that move. But as he takes strike 2 there, good pitch from Holland. Now that they've made the move and it's been successful, it's hard to change it up. I think he is there to stay. Giants had a hard time finding anybody who could stick in that leadoff spot. That was kind of a black hole for a while. He strikes out swinging here on a high fastball. Holland pitches out of the jam. Giants lead is still 1-0. It is time to check out our Chevron Interleague scores. And as we look around Interleague baseball, lots of close games, lots of exciting games. We told you about the Cubs' thrilling win in the 13th against the Indians. The Phillies lost another game at home against the Orioles. Came into that series with the worst record in the American League. Beckett pitches the shutout against the Braves, a franchise that started off in Boston way back when. And the Rays beat Johan Santana and the Mets 3-1. Chris Carpenter also pitched real well. Cardinals got a 7-1 win over the Royals. Carpenter continues to be fantastic. Kane starts off Ian Kinsler's at bat with ball 1. Underway here in the 6th. It is 1-0 Giants leading. The 1-0 is driven down the left field line. Torres going back, and he's going to watch it. It's gone. Ian Kinsler straight down the line and right into the tunnel. An impressive home run, and it's his 18th of the year, and it ties the game at 1.
Well, he's really had the best swings of the night against Matt Cain. Even the at-bat in the 3rd when he struck out looking was an at-bat where he hit the ball hard. Here, a breaking ball that just sort of flops right up there mid-thigh, middle in, and this is a good pitch to drive for a guy who's seen him well. And, you know, we talk about this Texas team. They don't hit into a lot of double plays because they try to hit fly balls, and that's a lift and separate hack right there.
First pitch curve to Murphy in for strike 1. Ian Kinsler, how about a leadoff man who's got 18 home runs here in the middle of June?
Yeah, 48 RBIs.
Amazing. He is quite a player. Kane spins another one in for strike 2. Even with that home run, Giants are playing their kind of game here tonight instead of a slugging home run derby kind of game. Strike 3 called. Good fastball to Murphy.
Right back at him. 1, 2, 3, see ya.
Nice bounce back from Kane. We went through some of the interleague scores earlier. Take a look at what else has gone on. The Yankees and the Marlins. Big crowds down in Miami, Florida, got a win in that one over A.J. Burnett, a former Marlin. White Sox and Reds slugging it out in Cincinnati. Dodgers still with that 5-2 lead. A's starting to play a little better. They lead the Padres 2-0. Kane misses off the outside there. Ball 1 to Michael Young.
Well, I think this series between Oakland and the Giants Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be a hard-fought series.
I do too. Good test for the Giants in that the A's are going to be ready to play. They were not happy with the way the weekend here went.
No, they were not, and I agree with you. It's going to be it'll be a test. That series always is.
We're just watching them play a little bit since that 3-game sweep by the Giants. As Young takes this one to right field. Spinning around to win, but he gets his bearings and makes the catch.
Well, tune into the Bay Area's #1 rated 11 p.m. newscast. You can do that right here on NBC Bay Area tonight at 11. And wake up with traffic and weather on NBC Bay Area weekday morning starting at 4:30 a.m. You talk about the difficulty of playing right field. Watch the route that Randy Wynn has to take. He turns completely around and then positions himself. Not a problem. Nobody plays this field better than Randy Wynn. In right field, that is his.
First pitch to Nelson Cruz, who's got big time power. Ball 1. Cruz 18 home runs. And Kane blows a fastball right by him. Kane fastball these last couple of starts has just been explosive.
He's got confidence behind it. He's not nibbling. He's throwing through the target. You can see second stage move when he releases his hand.
I think there's been a big difference. He totally jams Cruz there for strike 2.
The difference is runs. The difference is a confidence that if you make a mistake, your teammates are going to pick you up. When you're out there and you're thinking you cannot make a mistake, you do not cut the ball loose and freely like he's doing it now.
His 1-2 pitch just off the outside. Close pitch, and on appeal, no swing. Bill Miller said Cruz was able to hold back.
He did. That is not a swing.
2-2. And just missed there. Kane thought he had him.
Well, that's where you get into trouble with Darryl Cousins, the plate umpires. That you'll get width like this with fastballs, but you don't get them with the breaking balls. Now, he's had that location called a strike tonight with a fastball. It was a strike 3 to Ian Kinsler back in the 3rd, but you don't get that necessarily with the breaking ball with Cousins.
He misses with a fastball there. It's ball 4. Fans are not happy. Bruce Bochy's not happy. A 2-out walk.
Well, they would have been pitcher strikes, both of them.
Yeah.
Second walk of the game.
That number has been so impressive for Kane here in his last several outings. The walks have gone way down. Didn't walk anybody completing the game against the A's last weekend. A base runner with 2 down for Marlon Byrd. Kane will make a move to first. Kane typically does an excellent job keeping a runner close to the bag. Cruz is the big power guy, but he's also stolen 11 bases. You have to pay attention to him, and that's what Kane's doing. That was pretty close play.
Not much of a lead there, but a pretty healthy lead. Safe.
Cruz has 18 home runs. He's got 11 steals. Kinsler has 18 home runs. He's got 14 steals. Texas lineup full of power speed combo players as Kane misses high, ball 1.
This has to be the most speed that this organization has ever had on the field. Because just about everybody up and down that lineup can steal a base for him.
Yeah, in the past they've had a guy, a leadoff hitter. Kane misses away there. It's 2-0. Kenny Lofton was a player in Texas for a while. When I grew up, they had a guy named, remember O.D.B. McDowell?
Sure.
Speed guy at the top.
And Mickey Rivers down there.
Yeah. That fastball pulled outside. It's 3-0. All of a sudden, Kane getting himself into a little trouble here.
Yeah, they will swing 3-0. Not a problem with that.
Bird takes strike 1. Particularly Marlon Byrd, very, very aggressive. That's a man on deck, Jared Saltalamacchia, who has had a couple good swings tonight. Kane would like to avoid seeing him with 2 men on.
Well, Bird's a hard guy to walk. I mean, he's only walked 9 times and 215 at bats.
That's not many.
No, it's not. That is Benji Molina-like. Molina has walked twice in 235 at bats.
It's almost Benji Molina-like. 3-1. Well, he walked him. Bird all of a sudden turned into a different guy. Back-to-back 2-out walks in what is turning into the most stressful inning for Kane tonight. You know, really, you're going to have a talk about it now. Pitch count, not a problem. Kane's been efficient. He's been mowing the Rangers down, but this is the high-stress inning right now. Saltalamacchia, he's got power. Switch hitting catcher. 6 home runs. Takes up and in.
That'd be a rough name to have if you make an all-star team. And I say that for one reason. You're going to sign about 1,000 items.
They think he could make an all-star team. He swings and misses there.
Literally, I mean, they bring boxes of balls out for you to sign on an all-star game that just blows your mind. You've never seen that many balls. Bats, balls, pictures. And if you're Jared Saltalamacchia, you got to go on the DLs just signing your name on a baseball.
Rangers Fan Fest in the wintertime, not a fun day for him.
No.
Longest last name in big league history. That one bounces in and bounces away from Molina. Now Bird from first thought that Cruz was going to take off, and he went about a third of the way. The Giants nearly had an opportunity to get Bird caught too far off first base.
Well, the problem with this as a catcher is you're going to come back and you're going to look at the lead bag. That's your first concern. It's not to look at the back bag at first base where they had an opportunity.
And that's where Bird can be a little bit more aggressive. They held their ground. First and second, 2 down after 2 walks from Kane. He spins a nice curveball in for a strike.
The league hitting .098 against him with runners in scoring position, 6 for 61. That is an amazing statistic. It just tells you that he bears down with runners in scoring position. Plain and simple.
Trying to do that right here. 2-2 to Saltalamacchia. Tie game, 6th inning. And Saltalamacchia rips one to right, but Wynn is there to reach out and make the catch. Kane gets out of some trouble. This game tied.
Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Roger Mathai. Rangers star Ian Kinsler has tied this game by hitting his 18th home run of the season. And if you ask Kinsler, he should have 20 home runs this season, but 2 of them have been taken away by A's center fielder Ryan Sweeney, robbing Kinsler of 2 home runs so far this season. And the Giants are going to see Sweeney in the A's in just a couple of days as the Bay Bridge Series resumes in Oakland. And Mike, you were talking about Kinsler. He is a rising star in the American League.
First pitch swinging, Edgar Renteria lines out to Cruz in right, 1 away.
Yeah, I agree with Raj. He is a rising star, good-looking player. And the one thing I like about this guy is he's got instincts in the field and on the base paths, and that tells you a lot about his ability as a baseball player.
You know, he reminds me a lot of Dustin Pedroia. More power, less batting average, but a force offensively at second who just does a lot of different things to help his team.
I mean, that's really the mark, I think, of a ball player that, you know, consistently goes day in and day out. We're producing 90-foot advantages for your team, whether it be on defense, you know, cutting the ball off that doesn't, and maybe a play you can't even make a throw on as an infielder. It just keeps it from going to the outfield. Instead of a first and third and 1 out, it's a first and second.
Sandoval swings and misses.
You know, being able to get some walks, being a good cutoff arm. I mean, just a lot of different ways that you can pick up your team and give them another 90 feet that they wouldn't normally get from another guy out there. And Kinsler's that type of player.
Last night, that play he made against Travis Ishikawa and turned it into a double play. We've seen him steal a bag. He's hit a home run. He's only been here for 2 days. 1-1 pitch. Off the inside. Last night, Ishikawa told us after the game he was sure that was going to be just like the play before, down for a base hit, and Sandoval was sure too. What a great play that was. Sandoval shoots one foul. Pablo hitting .330 now for the year. Has another hit tonight. He's 1 for 2. Trying to get the Giants started here. It's the Giants kind of game. Rangers, the big slugging team. The Giants, the pitching-oriented team. And here in San Francisco, 1-1. Checks his swing, or did he? Yes, he did, according to Bill Miller.
Well, let's see. Did he check the swing? Yeah, that's close right there. I don't think he'd argue if he got rung up.
Now at 3-2. He takes one down the right field line, but well foul. My personal opinion, if it's close like that, I think it's a swing. If the intent is to determine whether he was trying to make a swing, if it's close like that, I say he took a swing.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
I'm an old pitcher. If it leaves his shoulder, it's a swing.
Kipe will fight me about it.
If he touches the plate before a swing, it's a swing.
Yep. See, he went.
That's a swing right there. Strike 4. Come on.
Another 3-2. And another one that was up out of the zone. Sandoval went for it and it hit foul.
If you were to say to me, where is Pablo Sandoval's wheelhouse, I could not tell you.
You couldn't tell me where his wheelhouse is, where his weakness is.
Couldn't do it. That's why he's tough to pitch to.
I think he's a nightmare for opposing pitchers. Nice at bat there, though, and he takes the walk. We're seeing more and more of that from him, and he does not have to become a guy who's going to walk 100 times in a year.
No.
But if he just gets a little extra discipline at the plate, pitch awareness goes up a little bit for Sandoval, he's got a chance to be so good.
Well, he'll just get better pitches to hit. You're absolutely right. And he's going to evolve into a guy that's going to get 50 or 60 walks a year. And then watch out.
A one-out base runner for the Giants for Benji. Big breaking ball in there for a strike. Molina's 0 for 2 tonight, hitting .262. Benji, who faced the Rangers for many years while playing with the Angels in the American League West. But like all the Giants, seeing this guy Holland for the first time. He grounds one into the hole. Base hit for Benji. Sandoval around second. He stumbled, taking a turn around second base. He was not going to try for third. Molina has set the Giants up here, first and second, one away.
Stay hot, Benji Molina. Little fastball, belt high, out over the plate. And you could see Vizquel kind of cheating towards the middle, and he did that to the location. Not many guys can go out there and hook that outside pitch and find a hole on the left side of the infield. But Benji Molina, with a strong top hand, is one of those guys. Another guy's tough to pitch to. You don't really know where there's an area he can really not get to. You've seen him hit all kinds of pitches.
Omar communicating with his pitcher. 2 on, 1 out. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for Texas, who everybody says has done a great job with this team, his first year with the Rangers. Out for a quick visit. Now he's back in the dugout. Giants trying to untie this game. Win 0 for 2. Holland is going to spin back to second. There was no play on, so he didn't make a throw. Randy Wynn just desperate to get it going from this side of the plate, considering his numbers for his career basically right down the middle, left-handed, right-handed. This has been shocking how much he struggled batting right-handed. Randy's 6 for 58. He's reached base 7 times batting right-handed all year.
Well, he's a touch hitter, and you know, it's all about getting a touch and a feel of a swing. And he's not been able to lock into it from the right side.
He is overdue, though, for something big. That one's way outside. Ball 2. Some signs here from young Derek Holland of vulnerability. This is the third time through for the Giants. Command maybe a little bit more erratic. I would not be shocked if the Rangers thought about getting the bullpen started here real soon. Ron Washington watching closely. Wynn bounces this one to third. Young has it to second for one. Kinsler with that strong arm for the double play. And Wynn can't believe it. Dwayne's coming back over to the TV side. Giants and Rangers tied at 1.
The special promotion highlighting the K. Welcome to K-ville. Tickets in K-ville are located in a special section here at AT&T Park, and a purchase of a ticket in K-ville gets fans this great package. You're going to get a ticket in the K-ville section. You get a collector's K-ville t-shirt, a foam orange K, and $10 in food and beverage through Splash Tix. You get all this for only 55 bungeros. Go to sfgiants.com/K-ville right now to get your special package for your place in K-ville. 1-1 tie. We're at the top of the seventh here. Again, Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, Mike, and here's Chris Davis. And Davis with a mighty swing and a mighty miss, and it's no balls and one strike.
Got a good old-fashioned pitching duel tonight, partner.
Indeed we do. No balls and one strike. Swinging a bouncing ball off of Davis, and it's 0-2. Well, look. A little promising. Randy Wynn hit the ball well. Then you find a glove. Big leaguers turn that into a double play.
That's the problem with hitting it hard.
Inside 1-2. So you're supposed to pick your spots when you hit it hard.
Hit them where they ain't. Meanwhile, Matt Cain has been cruising.
Off the end of the bat to stay alive. The bottom three in this Rangers lineup here in the seventh. We got him.
Elevate. It's such a subtlety that really doesn't explain how difficult it is to hit that. But when you drop a couple of changeups down around the knees or below, then you heat up a fastball above the belt. It's a sightline change, and it is very effective. And it's something he has always done well. Nice pitch.
Well, he came into the league knowing how to strike people out. What he has worked on is trying to get people out other ways. And you stay in the game longer.
Yep.
And he's figured that out. There's a bouncing ball foul. And he is still a baby.
You have to remind people he's just 24 years old, and he is younger than Tim Lincecum. Just doesn't seem like it, though. Seems like it's been around a long time.
Vizquel takes a strike. It's 0-2. Just a broad-shouldered kid.
If there's ever a body that's been designed to eat up innings, Matt Cain's got that body. Just a good, solid foundation, strong-legged, broad-shouldered, and has a motion that's very compact. Doesn't take a lot out of his arm. That high three-quarter short arm release, pretty much the same type of release that Nolan Ryan had.
There was ever a body to slap the ball around, it's Omar Vizquel.
That's right.
Here's Derek Holland.
Omar in the 2-strike protect mode, just trying to put it in play, let the pitcher supply the power, be as quick as you can to the ball, and not quick enough.
I love that guy. Although he's not happy now.
No, he is not happy.
Holland hit a soft line drive to Downs in the 5th. Here he's behind 0-2. This is a big game for the Giants when you talk about winning the series. With Millwood pitching tomorrow, he's their ace right now. The 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Down low, 2-2.
Pretty good eye right there for Holland. You don't expect a pitcher out of the American League to be able to spit on a curveball below the strike zone when he's got a 1-2 count.
You say you sound surprised. Downs. Side retired. Giants have Ricciarelli to lead things off. Bottom of the 7th coming up. 1-1. Just a piece of meat. A 1-1 ball game. Holland's been terrific. Kinsler's got a home run. Cain, he's been terrific. Rowan has a home run. It's been the solo home run. That's the story of the game, as well as starting pitching. Ricciarelli will lead things off.
The only runs, 2 home runs, both from each team's leadoff hitter. Go figure.
Here's Ricciarelli. Aurelia skies it into right center field. This is hit pretty well. Bird is going to get underneath it, and he makes the catch. Not in this yard.
No. And that'll put a set of Gumby shoulders on Rich Aurelia, because he knows that any other ballpark, he's tried the bags. High fastball away. Nice job of going with a little too much height on it, however. And in this ballpark, that's going to beat you. You hit it 410 feet. What do you get? You get with the little bird left on the rod. That's a big league hang with him.
They're also talking about how far that went in Arlington.
Oh, yeah, especially Arlington. That has a jet stream going out to right center.
Torres takes a strike. Andres Torres has been on base twice. Outside, he tripled in the second. He reached on an error in the fifth. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Steps out. He's very fidgety. He's not going to hang for very long. As Romo is throwing in the bullpen. Pulled foul. Ball deep down the left field line. Spectator.
What is he doing down there?
Nealis.
Bob.
I know. I'm cool, okay? I'll put the glove on this time. Torres on play.
Bob was taking some heat. Bob was, it was like he was leaning into a creek, hanging onto that fence post. What the heck? Let that fence post go, my friend. You're down there to dive.
High to Torres. 2-2. On the ground to third, Young. 2 outs. And here's Matt Downs. Matt Downs struck out in the second, bounced out in the fifth. O'Day in the bullpen. We saw O'Day last night. So here's Downs.
Last year combined, San Jose and Fresno, he had 20 home runs. He's got some pop.
Roll foul. Well, with the pitcher on deck and 2 outs, if you got some pop, and Downs does, doesn't hurt to give it a shot here.
Matt Downs went to the University of Alabama. Infielder, and he also pitched for him. How about that? And that means one thing. Somewhere down the line, there's going to be a blowout ball game, and the skipper's going to say, yo, can you pitch us an inning?
Not a problem.
And he will. And when you have a guy named Downs, you give him number 37, don't you?
That's right.
Matt Downs wearing Kelly Downs' old number. Great to see Kelly Downs over the weekend when the Giants honored their 1989 team.
All right, here's the pitch. If it's in the area, let out some shaft.
Let out some shaft. Now Romo's warming up down in the Giants bullpen. If Downs gets on base, they may pitch it Kane.
Line to right, and that'll end the inning. Kane likely to go one more. It's 1-1.
Yeah. Vizquel, a notable Giant, former Giant, now in a Rangers uniform. How about Will Clark in a Texas Rangers uniform? The Giants great left San Francisco after the 93 season, signed with the Rangers, was an all-star in 1994. Will Clark, after the Rangers, then went on to Baltimore. And guys, I talked to Will before the game. I said, hey, your old team's in town, and kind of gave me a scowl.
Ooh, he gave you the Neusler look, Raj.
There's the thrill. In town with his wife Lisa, his daughter Ella, and his son Trey.
Kinsler homered off of Kane to lead off the sixth. Kane will be careful. Sky down the right field line, kind of in no man's land, and it's going to drop. This is a quick bat, folks. Check out this home run.
Just a little bit of a hang to a breaking ball right out over the plate, and it got out of here in a hurry. He definitely knows the direction from home to home. He's run that route a few times.
He missed one in the third by getting out in front just a little bit when he hooked it down the left field line. There's a bunt, and he bunts it foul. That was good wood on the bunt. That's not what you want.
Ideally, where do you want to make contact with the ball when you're bunting?
Right in between the sweet spot and the end of the bat. That'll help deaden it. That's if you're, butting it down the third base line. Into right center field. Hit pretty well. Is it going to hang? It's going to hang for Aaron Rowan. And Kinsler just did the Gumby shoulders.
Well, he just found out what Richard Aurilia found out 10 years ago. That right center with a high fly ball is not good. And you're right, he had the Gumby shoulders, the Richard Aurilia Gumby shoulders going out of the box because he knew it.
Just another player that said, never playing here.
A lot of hitters have said that over the last 51 years here in San Francisco.
Here's Murphy. Murphy on the ground. Aurilia, a tricky hop. 2 down. That pitch was number 103 for Kane.
Well, he is due to lead things off for the Giants at the bottom of the 8th, so I would believe that this is probably his last inning. But he is doing tonight like he always does when he gets this deep in the ballgame. He's throwing his hardest fastball.
There's Michael Young. Young attacks the first pitch and fouls it out of play.
Our gun on NBC Bay Area had it at 91. The stadium gun had it at 95. So somewhere in between there.
I'm willing to cut it in half.
It looked 93 to me.
It did. I agree.
I didn't think 91 gave it enough respect.
On the ground to short. Renteria has it. Little crow hop on the throw, and that ends the inning. All right, bottom of the 8th coming up. It's 1-1.
of the 8th inning. Time now for our Cache Creek hit of the game. For that, we go back to the 2nd inning. And Aaron Rowan, he gets the right bat, gives one back to the stands, and the same AB gets a little bit of a hanging slider and knocks it right out of here. A first-row homer. Home run number 8 of the year, and that's our Cache Creek hit of the game. That has been the Giants offense.
So Matt Cain is going to be lifted for a pinch hitter, and those are his numbers.
And those are outstanding numbers. Just 6 base runners, 3 hits, 3 walks allowed in those 8 innings. A solid outing for Matt Cain, and they're going to try and get him a victory right now. And to do that, they need to score some runs.
Well, they got Juan Uribe, who's going to lead things off. It's been a while for Uribe, and Ron Washington is going to come out, so we're going to have a pitching change. All right, we have a pitching change. We'll let you know what the changes are when we come back. Here it's a 1-1 game. The Sable list today, he is now on the hill, and those are the numbers this year for Francisco, and they're out of sight numbers. Look at the ERA at 0.46.
Good stuff. Fastball, curveball, changeup.
Fastball is high to Uribe. He was on the DL with shoulder tendonitis. Did pitch an inning and 2/3 on a rehab assignment on Thursday.
16 base runners at 19 and 2/3 innings.
Out of play off the bat of Juan Uribe. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
20 strikeouts in 19 and 2/3 innings. And the thing about Francisco, I like, he went out there and you get 8 warm-up throws coming out of the bullpen, and he took 5 and said, "I'm good, let's go. Quit Jimmy jacking around. Give me the ball."
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Francisco, a big fella, 6'3", 235-pounder, out of the Dominican Republic, 29 years old. This is his 5th year at the big league level.
Uribe holds up 2-2. Uribe left Saturday's game with a strained hamstring. Wilson's getting loose. Just had 1 pinch hit appearance in the last 5 games. He's been on the show. Got him. Here's Aaron Rowan. Rowan homered in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Rowan takes high. Rowan's got a little history with Francisco. He's 1 for 2 with a double, but that's it. Check swing, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Hitters hate to give that swing up. You're sitting on a 1-0 count, you're looking gas. And that fastball just exploded in on his hands. And when a guy breaks down mid-swing, that's late movement. And like I said, you hate to break a swing down in a 1-0 count.
Good pitch, 1 and 2.
And that's the pitch right there that has set him apart from a mere mortal. That is the pitch that has enabled him to close games.
Francisco started to walk off. It was called the ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Darrell Cousins, I mean, he's just not going to give you anything that's wide with that great breaking ball. You just kind of have to be between the corners of the plate to get it. Not so with the fastball.
Now full count. Giants will take a base runner any possible way they can.
Texas playing deep in the outfield, defending Aaron Rowan.
Especially Murphy, who's not that far from the warning track. 3-2 pitch. Got him.
3-2 changeup. Just all the sell job with the arm action of a fastball, and hitters commit to the arm action and the arm velocity. And when the ball gets up to you, it's not where you think it's going to be. A swing through, see ya. 2 quick strikeouts.
Here's Renteria. Renteria with a high fastball. And another high fastball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Giants would indeed love to have Pablo Sandoval hit here in the 8th inning. Little pop-up down the right field line. Kinsler. And that ends the inning. So Francisco with 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. And now we will go to the 9th. It's 1-1. Omar Vizquel 0 for 3 in this game, but it's not going to be Vizquel. It'll be Nelson Cruz facing Brian Wilson. So Matt Cain and Derek Holland both get a good workout. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Good hard slider to open it up. Here's the numbers for Wilson. 31st time he's come into this ball game. This is not a safe situation, of course. 33 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings. Gives you an idea of what kind of stuff he has. Big time fastball, slider.
Hit high to right field. Randy Wynn measuring it out, and he makes the catch.
Hey, that's a little more carry to right field than we normally see.
Yep. I think it's a little more carry at the last second than Randy Wynn expected. Although I never have a doubt with him.
No, you pretty much, if a ball goes in the air to right field, you're thinking it's going to get caught with Randy Wynn out there.
Here's Bird. Bird digs it out and fouls it into the seats. Just over 33,000 here tonight. On a night where the Giants honored Randy Johnson. And a ceremony before the ball game. emceed by my partner, who now can do these with his eyes closed.
It's hard not to be in awe with those guys that were out there in the field. I got to be honest with you. Edward Perry, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson.
Up the middle. Downs on the back end. Downs throws. Got him. Nice play. 2 down.
Yeah, that's the kind of play that if you're pitching and a guy makes a pick like that behind you, that pumps you up. And why not make it our Lexus pursuing perfection of the game? A backhander slides right into his plant foot, straightens up and shoots him down. And that is a thing of beauty. Our Lexus pursuing perfection play of the game. Nice going, Rook.
Here's Saltalamacchia. I don't know if you probably couldn't notice it because you were on the field doing things, but the Johnson family was all sitting right in the chairs.
Yep.
And the introductions to the other 300 game winners. And then you said, all right, now let's have all the Giants players come out. And they all came out. And I'm watching, and 3 players went right to Johnson. Connor Johnson. Give him a big hug. Or Tanner Johnson.
Well, Tanner Johnson's quite a hit.
They went right to the kid. And he was hugging him and giving him high fives. And
I don't think he's lost when he's been a bat boy.
I don't think he has either.
He's good luck. Yeah, he was down in the dugout before the ceremony, and he was as loose can be.
1-2 to Saltalamacchia. Oh, good swing by Saltalamacchia, and that's foul back.
I think if they need entertainment in the Johnson household, they go to Tanner.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson way ahead here. That last slider, as you pointed out, Saltalamacchia was right on it. And guys will get greedy here, especially a team that's got some offensive swagger like the Rangers. They will not make 2-strike adjustments.
Rich Aurelia! Side retired! Aurelia strapping on the leather. Giants are coming up.
Sandoval's been in this situation before. A walk-off home run last month, May 12th, against the Washington Nationals. A walk-off to win it. Pablo Sandoval leads off this inning, and guys, it is loud in the stadium right now. More than 30,000 fans on their feet. Let's send it back up to you.
All right. It is, Raj. It's letting the Giants know that this crowd of 33,312 would like very much to see a walk-off. They're going to have to do it against Darren O'Day, a sidewinder who the Giants saw last night.
O'Day's got good numbers. I mean, just 19 base runners in 21 innings and 21 strikeouts in those 21 innings. It tells you why he's 2-0 with a 1.29 ERA. Pretty easy to understand what you're going to get when you're stepping in the batter's box. From that arm angle, you're going to get sink, and you're going to get a slider, which is his best strikeout pitch.
He struck out Sandoval looking last night. Sandoval fouls it out of play. The run that O'Day gave up against the Giants last night was the Ishikawa home run. Oh, 0-1 to Sandoval. Just off the plate. O'Day trying to get Sandoval to fish.
And he's also saying, you know what, if you're going to hit something out of this ballpark, you're going to have to go to left field to do it.
Line drive, center field, base hit. Too much of the plate. And now Benji Molina's coming up. Sandoval's second hit.
There's the mistake out over the plate. They tried to set up a corner pitch. He misses out over the plate, and Sandoval going right back up the middle. And here's the response from the Giants faithful. They were digging it. So right away, Mike Maddox, pitching coach for the Rangers, coming out to talk it over with O'Day, just to again reconfirm as to how Ron Washington, the skipper, wants Benji Molina pitched to. The Rangers are going to defend the bunt. Michael Young, the third baseman, is coming in anticipation of a possible bunt from Molina. I would be very surprised.
And you more see a hit and run than a bunt, I believe. Hit and run. Little flare to right, and this one's going to be out of play.
Well, there's your hit and run, partner, and you might see it again. Now, knowing this, Ron Washington knows the tendencies of Bruce Bochy with Molina in the batter's box. Because of that, you might see some pitch outs here.
It's always a possibility that Bruce Bochy would, as you mentioned, put it on again. We'll see. Sandoval back easily. Molina swings and misses, nothing in two.
And that's the big frisbee sweep and breaking ball that O'Day features. Just starts off on the inside corner and goes right across the plate, flat.
This would be a guy that if you get on the plate a little bit, foul back. If you get on the plate, you force him to try to pitch you in. Tim Flannery, a series of signs. Oh, 0-2. Foul back, and Molina had a pitch to hit.
He was on it too. Tried a little sneak attack fastball in the 0-2 count, and that's a little bit too much strike zone for O'Day. I think ideally he'd like to have brought that thing with sink on the inside corner and have a fall off the plate towards Molina, but to lead that thing out over the middle of the plate like that, he got away with one there.
0-2 to Benji Molina. Vizquel, not at your normal double play depth. He is playing a little deeper than usual and more over towards the hole. Molina hits a lot of balls in that hole between third and short. Got him.
Another big sweeper. And Molina cannot lay off. So O'Day gets a big out.
Here's Randy Wynn. 0 for 3 tonight for Randy Wynn, all hitting right-handed. Here's his first at bat left-handed. Again, outfielders very deep. If you're Randy Wynn, the ideal pitch for you to see is something middle in. Take advantage of that hole between first and second. And as far deep as Cruz is playing, that would get Sandoval to third.
Doubles prevent defense by the outfield.
And again, Sandoval back. Five hits for the Giants, 3 for the Rangers. Day replacing Francisco, who replaced Holland. On the ground, Sandoval is going to run right into the double play, and that'll end the inning. You have to stop, Pablo. You have to stop. Here comes the 10th. And where you can find them on the Giants TV schedule. The final game of the series tomorrow at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. On Monday, his interleague action will continue in Oakland. It'll be on NBC Bay Area, and that game will start at 7. And then the Games on Tuesday and Wednesday at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Bay Area Giants then will travel to Milwaukee. And then they'll travel to St. Louis. So check us out. We know you will. Wilson to face Chris Davis here in the 10th inning. And Davis with a big swing and a miss. Davis, if you've been paying attention, is the strikeout home run guy.
He had a pretty good pitch to hit far on that last one. That is his wheelhouse, down and in. He likes it there.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
That's a good pitch. You elevate that thing at the belt. Now you're bunching the big fella up. But down and in. Ooh, hold your breath.
Look out, 1-2.
That had some steam on it.
That's 97 on our TV gun, 98 here at the ballpark. 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And tight, 3-2. So Wilson clearly does not want to walk Chris Davis. And he got him.
In the end, it was just another fastball that he blew right by him. So Davis with 3 chances on the fastball, and 3 times he swings right through him. So a dangerous bat sent packing.
Here's Vizquel. Omar 0 for 3 tonight. Bounces this one foul. Omar has flied out 3 times, twice to left and once to center. At the knees, 0-2.
That's a healthy fastball right there. He's got some pop going. And it looks like he's even throwing harder this second inning than he was in his last inning.
Vizquel stays off the high fastball, 1-2. One to 1 here in the 10th. Two and 2. Wilson now with 20 pitches. He pitched a clean 9th with a couple of very nice plays, one by Matt Downs, the other by Rich Aurelio. Here's the 2-2, and it's low, 3-2.
Low, but not by a bunch. And here again, the familiar count. It's called the Brian Wilson count, the 3-2 count.
Boggs is on deck. On the ground to short. Renteria throws him out. 2 down here in the 10th. And here's Boggs. Brendan Boggs is a switch hitter. Giants saw Boggs last night. He came in as a pinch hitter and drew a walk. Giants in the bottom of the 10th will have Aurelia, Torres, and Downs. And they'll be facing a new pitcher.
If you're a pinch hitter, I mean, don't even apply for a job in the American League.
No.
I mean, the Rangers have only had 20 pinch hit appearances by everybody this year. The most that anybody has is Andrew Jones, and he has pinch hit 5 times. It's just not something you do.
Well, no pitchers. every position ends up being a power position, so you're not going to pinch hit for a little slappy middle infielder.
So every DH that has had his career prolonged because of American League rules, some pinch hitter has just lost a job.
Absolutely.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, Nate Schurls has 23 pinch hit appearances, and that leads the Giants. Jones, as Mike said, leads the Rangers with 5. 2-2. That'll do it. Bonds cannot hold up. Richard really will lead things off. Is 1-1. And wake up with traffic and weather on NBC Bay Area weekday morning starting at 4:30 a.m. 10th inning, Rich Aurilia will lead things off. He'll be facing Jason Jennings.
There's the numbers for Jason Jennings. Giants fans remember Jennings as a member of the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies, he was big time sink, and it was sink that would go low 90s, and he's not throwing as hard. He still has the sinker slider changeup combination, and he can still throw you a ground ball.
Aurilia has 34 at bats against Jennings, and he's 11 for 34. Aurilia is 0 for 3. Pops this one back and out of play.
Souvenir time. That's great. Now that ball went right over the section right below us, and it lit the whole crowd up.
Yeah, and then it ended up way down below. 0-2 to Aurilia. Not close. 1-2. Aurilia in a battle, trying to get on for Andres Torres. On the ground to short. Vizquel has it. 1 out. And here's Torres.
It's tough to get optimistic when you hit a ground ball in the vicinity of Vizquel.
Yeah.
Pretty much automatic. I believe that Jason Jennings pretty happy with the 2 shortstops he gets to work with every day in Texas. Elvis Andrus, we were very impressed with, and getting a chance to watch him play last night. And of course, Vizquel, we've been impressed with for a long time.
Torres tripled in the 2nd, reached on an air in the 5th, bounced out in the 7th. Chop foul, 0-2. A pair of home runs in this game, one by Rowan, one by Kinsler. Both leadoff hitters. It's 1-1.
Sergio Romo getting greased up. He will pitch the top of the 11th, if there indeed is a top of the 11th.
With Torres, if he can get on anywhere, hit by pitch, walk, single, his terrific speed, it would be an opportunity where you could think about walking a double. Well, that's irrelevant. 2 down. And here's Downs.
Tough to get the ball airborne against Jennings. He's got so much sink. Not a guy that gives up a lot of home runs. Jennings, a starter with the Rockies, went over to Houston, and then he started having some arm problems. And he has resurfaced here in the bullpen with the Rangers.
Well, you got 2 quick outs, Aurelia, Torres, and now Downs is 0 for 3. Battling Jennings, a 1 ball and 1 strike count. Foul back, 1-2. Day game tomorrow on Father's Day. Get Dad out to the yard.
Oh yeah. Buy 3 get a ticket free, plus you get a tie for the first 15,000 at the ballpark tomorrow. So bring the old man.
Here's the 1-2 offering to Downs. Downs takes the pitch in the dirt, 2-2.
About Jennings too, I mean, when he misses, he usually misses below the strike zone. It's a slider that falls below the zone, or a sinker that goes below the zone. You don't see him making mistakes belt high or above.
Foul back. It stays 2-2.
Sherholtz chalking up on deck. Downs trying to give him a chance to hit this inning.
Three and 2. Well, I'd say that nobody was left tonight.
33,312 faithful. And I agree with you.
Hanging in there with this bunch. 3-2 pitch coming up to Downs. Now timeout is called. Somebody wasn't sure, and I'm not sure who it was. 3-2 hook ends the inning. We'll go to the 11th. It's 1-1.
Looking for his league-leading 10th victory of the season. Will not get the win tonight, but pitched well enough to do it. And that brings us to our Bud Light player of the game. It is Matt Cain. 8 strong innings, gives up just 3 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Matt Cain, our Budweiser player of the game. That only run he gave up, the home run to Ian Kinsler. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Well, we agree. Matt Cain, another outstanding outing and another strong argument to make that All-Star team in St. Louis. And the midseason classic is the 14th of July. And he keeps making strong arguments for himself like tonight. He's going.
Here's Kinsler facing Romo.
The numbers for Romo: 8th time out, 1-0, 2.45 ERA. 5 hits allowed in 7 1/3, 10 strikeouts, no walks. Outstanding numbers.
Up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Randy Wynn is now in left field. Nate Scherholtz comes into the game. He's in right. That means Scherholtz will hit in the 9th spot. Romo, uncharacteristic, goes 3-0.
So he's going to take a walk. Think about it. He's not used to 3-ball counts. Got to be careful here. Kinsler with pop, and he will swing it 3-0. Looking for a fastball to drive.
And a 4-pitch walk. Wow. I did not see that one coming.
Well, you just think it's automatic. When Romo gets out there, it's going to be strike after strike. That's what he has done. So a 4-pitch walk is very uncommon. Bunt situation now for Ron Washington.
David Murphy is 0 for 4. And he lets this one go by, and it's low. 1 ball and no strikes. Only 3 hits for the Rangers, 5 for the Giants. There's the bunt. Aurelia will pick it up, toss it to Downs. Kinsler down to second. And here's Michael Young. Romo pitched yesterday. He faced Michael Young and he struck him out. So Young at least has some history now against Sergio Romo. Downs doing a wise thing, keeping Kinsler close to second. And it's high. 1 ball and no strikes. This is the 11th. Two balls and no strikes. I see Billy Hayes moving down towards the bullpen, and that can mean only one thing. Someone's going to be following him down there.
Last couple pitches, they're right around the strike zone. The fans are groaning. They want those balls called strikes. I thought they were close enough to be run up.
Out of play, 2-1.
Michael Young was hacking him out 2-0 no matter what. If that fastball was close, he was going to throw some wood.
Throw some wood he did, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Romo will look Kinsler back to second. It's been 1-1 since the 6th inning. Swinging a topper, foul, 2-2.
Breaking ball is a little flat one. It's almost a cut, but it's a little bigger than a normal cut fastball. The thing about it is it's pretty flat. Romo's got a breaking ball that he could throw. It's got a pretty good slant on it that drops away from a righty. And that may be with what he goes with right now. He really can be creative with the way he utilizes the break and movement on his breaking balls.
Lifted to right. Sherholtz will put it away. Kinsler's tagging. Here's the throw, and Kinsler makes it.
Sherholtz loves to show that arm off, or why not? It's a good one. Get a little movement. He's kind of flat-footed. The thing about his arm is it's strong and it is accurate. Not much chance with the speed of Kinsler, but just an opportunity to show off your arm.
In the game last night, Romo got Nelson Cruz to pop out. A little bit more pressure now on Benji Molina to keep things close at the plate. Swing. And gonna miss. 0-1.
First pitch breaking ball and a swing through.
Foul, 0-2 off the end of the bat.
If he's going to throw that pitch now, he does not want to throw it in the strike zone. I doubt he'll come back a third time with that pitch, but whatever he throws, if it's got break on it, make it out of the strike zone. Nelson Cruz was on that last one. Had that been an inch more towards him, towards the inside part of the plate, he'd have whacked it.
Blocked by Molina, 1-2.
Good 0-2 pitch and a nice block with a man on third base.
Kinsler started to come down the line. He didn't scare Romo, he scared me. I balked twice.
Nothing scares Romo. Here's a nice 0-2 pitch, drop it right below the zone, and there is what a big league catcher has to do. Watch Kinsler coming down the line.
1-2. Here in the 11th. A little low.
Again, a nice teaser with a count leverage of a count 1-2. Doesn't have to go in the strike zone, and he really doesn't have to go in the strike zone at all. He's got 2 bags to work with. You got a free swinger in the on-deck circle. And this at-bat is definitely set up for a fastball. He hasn't seen one yet. Yeah, get a new ball. Get one with a strike in it.
A good strike.
Yeah.
Three and two. Kinsler at third. Got him.
That's a good ball.
Scherholz, Rowan, Renteria.
Start. It's also our annual Strikeout Cancer Day presented by Genentech. First, the 21st tomorrow is also Father's Day. So if you're looking for 4 tickets, you can buy 3 and the old man gets to go free. Check that out. Also, the first 15,000 fans who get here tomorrow are going to get a Giants necktie courtesy of Genentech. So go online to sfgiants.com and enter DAD as your coupon code and take advantage of it.
All right, here's Nate Scherholz. Scherholz takes low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Scherholz hitting .261. Down the left field line. Is this trouble? You bet it is. And a fan touched it, and Scherholz has got a double.
Well, you know what? That is so wrong for a fan to make a touch. You cannot assume you're going to get 2 bags on that. I mean, that is the discretion of the umpire as to what you're going to get once a fan interferes. And what if this ball were to get by David Murphy? With Scherholz's speed, I mean, he could have gone into third base easily.
You got to leave it alone, folks.
Well, we'll never know.
And it's like 9 people tried to get it. So
what are you guys thinking about?
I say kick them all out.
Well, leadoff double, though. I'm still pretty happy. I got to be honest with you.
We still love our fans, though. Here's Rowan with Scherholz at second. Rowan takes one inside for a ball, 1-0. Edgar Renteria to follow. We are in the 11th. And Jennings will chase Scherholz back. Rowan, a solo home run. He's 1 for 4.
4 career walk-off hits.
And now Jennings is playing the waiting game. And this can mess with a hitter. And Rowan's got to shake this off.
You see the defense. They're playing in, anticipating a bunt. I don't think that's going to happen. But at the very least, Rowan has to get Sherholtz to third this at bat. Fastball inside corner at the knees, and that evens the count. So Jennings trying to work that inside corner. That is the side of the plate that's very difficult for a right-hander to hit the ball on the right side of the field. So, but that is also the power side for Rowan against the sinker like Jennings throws.
Swing and a foul. It's 1-2.
Fastball in, slider away.
A leadoff double by Sherholtz. One and two. Foul out of play. Pitch was up.
Two things going on right here. I mean, for Jennings with a runner at second, nobody out. I mean, that's a strikeout situation. That's what he's pitching for. For Rowan, obviously trying to knock in the winning run, but the very least he can accomplish in this at bat is he has to get Sherholtz over to the bag. It has to be, if you can't get him in with a base hit, you have to have an out that's productive and moves your runner up.
Just got a piece of that one. It stays 1-2.
I think he caught just a little piece of that red seam. I'm not sure if that contact even made a noise. But he stayed alive to see another pitch.
Straight away in the outfield and not deep.
Rowan's been red hot.
Right where Salta Lamakia asked Jennings to throw that pitch.
You know, in a sinker baller, he really isn't backed into a situation here where he has to give in to Rowan. He's got an open base, and a sinker baller can throw a ground ball. He never worries about setting the force up, ever. But Rowan's seeing it well, and he's able to drive that outside corner well right now.
Out of play. Instead of a breaking ball away, they asked for a fastball away.
That was a bad location. Jennings got away with one.
I think Rowan probably thinking like most hitters do, you get that fastball in, then you're just going to see that breaking ball away. And
not that time.
Sherholtz at second, nobody out. The pitch. Rowan striking out on a pitch in the dirt.
Now Jennings take advantage of that open bag and not give it in. He throws a little breaking ball down in the dirt in the inside corner, and he gets a swing through and a big out. The strikeout that he was pitching for, he gets.
Here's Renteria. 0 for 4 for Renteria.
And he owns Jason Jennings.
Well, I'll say this. Kinsler's not holding on Sherholtz. Omar is trying to. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Now, if you're a young pitcher and you're wondering what's the proper way to look a runner back when you have a runner at second and you're in your stretch, watch Jason Jennings, a veteran.
Renteria's last walk-off base hit came against these Rangers. One ball and 1 strike. Off the end of the bat, 1 and 2.
Well, with an open base, he's basically saying to Renteria, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat my pitch.
One and 2. Here comes Renteria. On the ground, up the middle. Vizquel has it. He will make the play, and Sherholtz moves to third.
Well, the inability of Aaron Rowand to get the runner over changed everything in the inning. It allowed the defense to stay back. It relaxed the total infield. It's a game where it's designed where you don't have to be a hero to get a hit to have a good at bat. And when you come up with a strikeout or runner at second, nobody out, that's not a good AB.
They're talking about Sandoval.
Sandoval's a guy who represents the great unknown to a lot of teams. We're trying to figure out a way to pitch this guy. I mean, we haven't figured out. Not many guys in the National League have figured it out.
Well, the talk is you can't pitch around this guy.
I think they're playing right into the hands of Benji Molina. Because think about this. Jennings is what? A sinker ball pitcher. And what does he throw? A lot of knee-high locations with sinker and sliders. And that feeds right into Benji Molina's swing. Molina does not have any history against Jennings.
About to. Molina has 1 hit in this game. He's singled in the 6th.
The pace of this game has really slowed down.
Here's Jennings to Molina. And that's why right there.
Well, Jennings has been out there before, and if you're a sinker ball, you want a guy to get anxious. You want him to go out of his strike zone to chase your pitch. Like that, and that's what slowing the pace down will do to a lot of hitters. It will get them antsy. I mean, I don't care how good a low ball hitter you are, you're not going to do much with this one. They are giving Molina the middle of this diamond.
They're also giving Sandoval second base, and I don't think they would mind if he took it. Doesn't matter. Check out Randy Wynn's numbers against Jennings.
Randy Wynn 0 for 10 with 3 strikeouts.
So if Sandoval were to go, they don't care. It opens up a base.
Yeah.
Oh, and 1 to Molina. Sandoval goes. Gets away! And this one is over! Unbelievable. How do you figure?
Holy smokes! Happy birthday! You don't figure that one.
A walk-off wild pitch. And the Giants take game 2 of this 3-game series. Here it is.
All right. A little breaking ball in the dirt. And Saltalamacchia cannot keep it in front of him, and he is going to think about that all night long. Boy, that is something that every catcher fears, and it just costs the Rangers a ball game.
All right, we've got more.